Every year there are guys who are supposed to win the Heisman, but completely fail and crumble under all the pressure and hype that surrounds them. After Nick Marshall had graduated, Auburn was supposed to have a guy next who could potentially win the Heisman Trophy, and his name was Jeremy Johnson. Sadly, Johnson never lived up to the hype, and he has now completely become forgettable for most Auburn fans in the college football world. Today we'll talk about the rise and fall of Jeremy Johnson, what went wrong at Auburn, and why the Heisman hype flamed out. But first, if you love college football, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I make videos just like this, and you won't want to miss out on them. Give the video a like, share it with your friends, comment your thoughts, suggest a future video topic, and stay until the end. Now let's get started and talk about what happened to Jeremy Johnson. Jeremy Johnson's football story starts down south in Alabama, and he was originally not going to be a football player. At Carver High School, Jeremy thought he was going to be playing basketball at the next level, not football. That was until Auburn head coach Gus Malzahn approached him and convinced him to play football instead. Jeremy became a star in high school and was actually so good that he took home the Alabama Mr. Football Award. As a recruit, he was highly regarded at 6'6", and he had the coveted size to be a high caliber guy. He amassed 5,087 yards and 58 touchdowns in his high school career, and the Montgomery native chose Auburn over offers from LSU, Ole Miss, and Purdue. He was an Army All-American and was expected to be an eventual starter for Auburn. According to 24/7 Sports, he was a 4-star recruit, the number 11 pro-style quarterback, and the 164th best player in the class of 2013. He came into Auburn as a backup quarterback and a blue-chip freshman with a lot of hype. He went into 2013 as the backup to Nick Marshall, as I said, and he showed a lot of promise as a freshman. He was named the SEC Freshman of the Week award twice and even had a 4-touchdown performance against Western Carolina. Because of that hype and flash he showed, many thought that Jeremy could lead the Tigers to a national title and make Auburn even better than they were under Nick Marshall. But he would have another year to be a backup. In 2014, as I said, he was a backup, but his time was coming when Nick was gone. According to Auburn fans, the Heisman Trophy was his to lose, and if you asked anyone, they'd say he had so much hype and they thought he was going to be the guy in New York. Yeah, that's a little much, but that's what fans, and I've done that with certain players before as well. When he stepped foot on the field in 2015, things did not exactly go as planned. In their first game against the Louisville Cardinals, he struggled. He threw 3 interceptions and barely completed 50% of his passes, but they did win. Things did not get any easier as he threw for 2 touchdowns and 2 picks against Jacksonville State, and it took overtime for the Tigers to knock them off. To be honest, I remember watching that game, and Jacksonville State really should have won that. It was not a good start, but he was going to have to get things fixed, and he was going to have to do it quickly, and he would have a chance against LSU. He threw a terribly embarrassing backwards pass, and this kind of summed up the Jeremy Johnson for Heisman train. Auburn looked horrible against the Tigers, and they lost that game. After that matchup, he was benched in favor of Sean White, and this was a really tough time for Jeremy. He would get a chance to retake the job as he would make a start against Texas A&M, and he actually threw for 132 yards and a touchdown, and Auburn upset the number 19 Aggies on the road. He struggled against Georgia the following week, but did account for 4 touchdowns against Idaho. He started his first Iron Bowl game and completed a miracle circus pass, but that was about it. Auburn went 7-6 after a win over Memphis in the Birmingham Bowl, but it was not the kind of season Jeremy would have liked. He finished 2015 with 1,054 passing yards across 12 games, throwing for 10 touchdowns and 7 picks. This is what Jeremy had to say about it. Quote, "There were days I just sat in my room thinking to myself, what am I going to do now? I used to get miserable. I actually used to want to leave. I used to call and talk to my teachers, and I used to tell them I want to go. I was too busy trying to be somebody everybody else wanted me to be instead of being Jeremy. I wish I could redo that over and also just really play football." He appeared in 4 games in 2017, but his career ended pretty quietly. Johnson finished his Auburn career with 2,224 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, and 11 picks. He didn't whine and cry and leave the team like some players would, and it's pretty telling about who he is as a person, as he didn't transfer, blame other people, or quit. He accepted responsibility for what happened and didn't make excuses for his play. The NFL was never going to happen for him, but he did get a few tryouts, and he would get a chance to play professional football in another level. He played arena ball for a couple teams, and apparently he is very happy with his life. That's all I wanted to hear, and I'm happy that Jeremy Johnson's doing well, and it must be tough to be a football player like him. You're given these high expectations, and you're expected to live up to them. Jeremy was good in his first 2 years at Auburn, but it was unfair what the fans put him through and what kind of bar they set for him. I think he was a good quarterback, but the pressure crushed him and his confidence was shot, and at that point, it was no return. What do you guys think, though? If you're an Auburn fan, let me know what you think of the Jeremy Johnson hype, and if you're a college football fan, let me know another random Heisman candidate that didn't exactly pan out. Before you go, be sure to give the video a like, and if you're new, subscribe, and check out my other videos on the end screen. I hope to see you guys again soon, but until next time, peace.